challenge question. That's the hard one.
We're ultimately trying to build too fast and for everyone. Ultimately, what you're trying to do when you get to the MVP stage is push and release a product out to market that ultimately can be testing your hypothesis so that you can continue to grow, scale, and receive feedback to build your end product result that will continue to take you on to your specific trajectory.
Finding great people and keeping great people, because it's the beginning and the end of everything. Technology is the easy part of what we do, but to find great people, not just good people, but really great people, that's a tough thing to do.
Customer acquisition, obviously, that's extremely important. Winning the customer's trust. It is a lot of work to find the right combination and the right strategy and get it working to optimize quality, service, and the price point.
People aspect is to the success of a business and to really grounding the business in terms of delivering value and adding benefits, driving the global narrative forward. Reliable, consistent talents, always kind of staying in the loop on the forefront of this kind of wild social 24/7 world that we live in.
As an early stage startup, most company was not much VCs were having a hard time, trying to understand what we do. So it was a really challenge, but we kept on trying, improving our business, and we still do not have funding at this time, but at least we're moving smoothly with the little we can do.
It's about finding the first customer. It's basically trying to create something where there was nothing. So that's always hard. So it's all an idea in your head in the beginning, and just to make it a reality, you have to go through a lot of setbacks and frustrations. But that's part of the package.
We need to get our branding and the marketing strategy aligned with customer expectations to ensure that we get recognized and acknowledged by our new customers. So those are the few key ones I can think about, at least the early stages. And obviously there are numerous challenges later on in the other growth phases, which most of the startups come across or face.
We made everything like bootstrapping, because we see that if you don't have money, it's a problem. But at the same time, if you can grow without having this money, like partnering or cooperating with other startups, finding synergies, I think this is a good way to grow without saving money.
I think when you think about different challenges during that build phase, you're trying to build for every one of your specific users on the platform, and that can get really complicated and overwhelming for a first-time founder. It's really important to stay in your own lane.
For a solid team, ideas and solutions, we have our MVP tested on of this not even but receiving positive opinions from the investors and investment networks. We want support and not being contacted in any way.
This problem is making people believe in you, and even before that, your conviction, and then still people don't believe in you. Then you have to gain the momentum. You have to take the people together. You have to create a win-win where you don't have money to pay to people, and then building that momentum.
I think it's really important to have a good, strong execution team around you that ultimately aligns towards one specific goal. I think being really mission driven and having a good head on your shoulders for what you're trying to build and having a team align with that is ultimately going to help make success happen and take you from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3 and beyond. And I think by doing that, it will really help you grow and determine.
Currently, we need finance, and that is why we're having the token sale. So it's actually not a lot of money. For us, we go for a total investment of 3 million, which is very small if you compare it to the scene. But that's enough to launch the token, and that will be the continual fuel of our ecosystem.
One thing, after the MVP or post the MVP, the market concept, the proof of concept and the market validation phase, the cash flow requirements become considerably higher because the cash burn rate is higher at that point, because we need to scale up and hire people for different business functions.
And certainly funding never hurts, but capital doesn't solve everything. I just violated a big taboo of the entrepreneur and investing world, I suppose. But no, I mean, there is a combination of factors that kind of leads to the success of any startup, any business. And funding and capital is certainly a strong cornerstone of that. Of course, you can't deny that. But the ability to think outside the box, that really is the distinguishing factor between those that make it and those that don't.
Finding the right team member to work with is the most important thing. Startup can be very, very hard. So it's not something one man can actually do, not just a person or one woman. You need to look for people who share the same dreams and beliefs with you. And together you can cross any obstacle that you would eventually face.
I analyze stocks for a living in my day job, right? Like when you invest in a stock, you need to have like a profit statement. You need to analyze how expensive the stock is. And then startup idea is not very real.
The power of influence the people around you, your communication skills in front of all of these people, and the passion that you have for your own project. Have a good team, funding, alliances, and strategic partners. This is the main things that you should have, and then you can go to find funding and go to speak with developers.
Support and a company financing are required.
We have been very closely following the principle of Jack Ma. So that says customer number one, number two is the team, and number three is investors. So why customer number one? Because customer is the center of everything. He's the king. He's the king of the free market. So we put him at the center and then build the product around his problems, the product that he loves. And who makes that happen? That is the team, which is on a mission, which has a clear mission of making the king happy and give him the product that he likes. And then come the investor, because in our case, we are building something very serious.